I have Joelle here, and after 22 years as a veterinarian technician, with the experience herself of overwhelm, frustration, and fatigue of people pleasing and perfectionism, eventually leading out to burnout and leaving her career, Joelle helps women experience the same move into IBBAG. Okay, pronounced IBAG. Okay, so just a little humor there.
Thank you, Jody. I'm really excited as well. I know many people don't know about human design at all, so I get really nerdy and very giddy when I come across someone who is unfamiliar. And when we're talking about specifically about burnout, overwhelm, fatigue, frustration, sometimes bitterness and resentment also start to get into the dynamics of all of those types of situations where we start to feel incredibly fatigued as well. At the core of all of that is because we're not aligned with our true, genuine, authentic self. Human design, I love to say that it is like our roadmap back to our self, back to our true, genuine, authentic self. Or if anyone has ever questioned whether there's a manual for how to live our life, it truly is human design. So a manual for how to live your life does exist. So what is human design? Human design was actually developed by a Canadian back in the 1980s, and I love to brag about this. It's become more and more popular in the last handful of years, even within corporate environments where there are a number of different people and personalities working together. So it's a nice synthesis of astrology, I Ching, the Kabbalah, the chakra system. For all of us who are really nerdy and we love our science, there's a sprinkling of genetics as well as quantum physics in there. And it's a logical map of how to really utilize our energy the best way possible, and not just utilizing our energy the best way, but how to preserve it, how to gain more of it, and ultimately how to protect it. Many of us as women, especially those of us who are entrepreneurial, we get into this hustle mode. We get into our masculine energy, thinking that it's all about the doing and that that's what's going to gain us success. When the truth of the matter is, whether we're male or female, whether we're predominantly masculine or feminine energy, we are here to really be within our authentic self and have a ease and effortless flow to life. And that's what embodying human design brings to us. Along with radical self-acceptance comes radical acceptance of others, because it opens up the door to giving grace to the understanding that not everyone thinks the same, not everyone acts the same, not everyone has the same valuable gifts to offer as everyone else. And it's so incredibly important, especially when we're working in large groups and we're working with a lot of other people, to fully understand that aspect. So now we have what are called the motor sources or the energy hubs within human design. You'll see here on the left a human design chart, and there are the chakras in here, plus three additional centers. We have the head, the ajna, the throat, the heart, the sacral center, the root, and then right here we've got the ego, the solar plexus, and over on the left we have the spleen. So on your body graph, when you have your human design done, you will see that some of these centers are fully colored in, while others may be completely open. So your body graph has these 9 centers on it, and each of the 9 centers has some sort of impact on every area of your life. So if you have a defined center, it means that that's kind of your consistent and reliable energy source. It's your fixed self, it's called. So this is where you are always at a constant within each of those defined centers. Where your centers are undefined is a very magical place. and this is coming from a projector, it's magical in that we can have influence from other people. It's our source of wisdom, having these open centers to learn from others, to learn from our experiences. But it can also be a source of being very prone to conditioning. So, what others tell us to believe, and it can be a not so great thing if we don't know how to utilize it very well. So again, the importance of embodiment. These motor centers are literally where energy is attained for those particular individuals. We have the sacral center, which is the square right here, right above the root center, where vitality, sexuality, and sustained work power exists. So this is our generators, and our manifesting generators have this defined sacral center where they have this sustained energy. Their generators are the worker bees of the world. We'll talk more about them in a moment. We also have the heart center. This is where our willpower comes from, where our drive comes from, where the things that we want from a material standpoint come into play. So the longings of the heart, we could say. And then we also have the solar plexus, and the solar plexus is where emotion resides and sensory perception, sensory depth. So people who are highly intuitive could potentially have a defined solar plexus. And then we also have the root center. So I'll just point them out here. We've got the heart, the sacral center, the root, and the solar plexus on the body graph. Some of us have defined motor centers and some of us do not. When we're talking about human design, it offers an incredible amount of information about who we are, how we're meant to operate in the world. It also gives us an incredible amount of guidance regarding our decision-making processes. So when we're talking about that, when we're talking about our intuition and our instinct, we are talking about in human design, we're talking about our authority. And our authority can come from a variety of different places within those centers on our chart. We can have an emotional authority where the solar plexus is the center that is defined that causes us to, or helps us to make our decisions from the emotions. And the mechanism for that is waiting for a wave of emotion. So it comes very clearly, and it's something that you're going to feel in your body. There isn't a single human being on the planet that's meant to make a decision from their brain, which goes against everything that we've taught, right? We're here to debunk the belief systems that we've been taught by others, and this is one of the hugest things. Society would have us believe that we have to sit down with a pen and piece of paper, we have to have our pros list and our cons list, and we have to make a logical decision each and every time we're faced with a choice. And the truth of the matter is, the way God, the way the universe, the way the divine, the way the stars, what, like the angels, whatever your higher power might be, has designed us to make decisions in life is from our body.
I'm one of those that is like very highly logical, but also highly intuitive. So they are always battling each other out. And what I always tell my clients is like, we never want to make a decision in a heightened emotional state. We want to let things settle, let them feel, and then we can start weighing the pros and cons and like play out all the scenarios that we have to. But essentially those decisions are going to come from our innate intelligence. So you're not wrong, but from somebody who is like led by both, we're constantly at battle. So there is definitely a balance that needs to be.
Gonna have to ask you about your energy type too, because I have some thoughts in my own head about that. So we can also have our intuition come from our sacral center, which is an immediate gut response. It's either a an uh-huh or a uh-uh. And what's cool about having a sacral center authority is that you can kind of tap into that at different times. So if you're kind of sitting down, recontemplating your decision making process, and am I making the right decision? You can tap back into that gut feeling. Whereas with someone who is a splenic authority, myself being exactly that, we need to be very in tune with our body because it is a very fleeting hit. It comes and it goes, and we can't tap back into it again. So, in order for anybody who is a splenic authority to really be able to tap into their instinct or their intuition, they have to take the space to have those moments of introspection and have those moments of quiet in order to even hear it. The ego center is also another space for our authority, for our intuition, so we can follow our heart. And then the last is the self-projected, which is kind of a unique situation. Anyone who has a self-projected authority actually needs to be able to speak to another person to just hear themselves say it out loud and then have it kind of reflected back to them. So sort of an intriguing intuition there. So the generator has a defined sacral center right here on the body chart, and they comprise 37% of the overall world's population. So these are the worker bees of the world. These are the people who are totally and completely happy to do the 9 to 5 so long as it's something they enjoy doing. And I'm going to hammer that home. Our generators need to be doing something that lights them up and brings them joy every day, something that they have fun doing. Otherwise, you will most certainly be led down the path to burnout. So they have the defined sacral center. Their strategy is to wait to respond. So they do have to take a beat, tap into their intuition, and then move forward. Their general aura is very open as long as they're following their design. They're open and enveloping, they're inviting individuals, they have this captivating energy about them. However, conversely, if they are the worker bees doing something and they're on the brink of burnout because they absolutely hate what they're doing, then they will experience frustration. So that's the shadow side of the generator. The manifesting generator comprises 33%. I knew it. I knew it. This is why you have this internal dichotomy. It's like, do I listen to my intuition or do I listen to my head? I'm so stuck. I don't know what to do. I have all these creative ideas. Am I meant to be the one to go after it, or am I meant to share the idea with someone else and have them do it? Right?
100%. That's me all the time.
Yes. As you were saying, I have this like thing and I'm like, oh, she's a Manny Gen for sure. So the role that the Manigens have in this world is like multifaceted. I know that my slide says multi-passionate, which is also true. These are the people in the world who look at the rest of us and go, what do you mean you can't multitask? Like, why can't you do X, Y, Z all at the same time? Like, can't everybody do that? And so if you ever get that feeling from someone, they could potentially be a manifesting generator. So they do have a defined sacral center, and they also have a motor directly to the throat. Now, what does that mean? You'll see all of these little lighter colored lines that go from one center to another. So a manifesting generator has one of their motors directly connected to their throat. So the throat is right here. This is the square shape right at the throat location. And they have either a direct line colored in from the heart, the sacral center, the root, or the solar plexus directly to the throat. And that's what gives us the indication that they're the manifesting generator. Their strategy is to respond and also to inform, meaning you respond in a way that is aligned with your intuition, whatever your intuition may be, whatever your inner authority may be. And then you're meant to take that information and tell someone else that you're doing it. So I have this really great idea, and I'm thinking that I should start taking action toward it. And these are the action steps that I intend on taking on this day at this time. And then that's going to make you feel good about moving forward into your action. And anybody who is a Manny Gen and potentially has a partner who's a generator is going to, without that aspect of informing, is going to be like, now what in the hell is happening now? Like there's always this whirlwind of activity around me and I don't know what's going on. And so it's like incredibly important for the Manny Gen to also include that little tidbit of information, sharing that with somebody in their circle. Sometimes it means sharing it with a coworker, sometimes it means sharing it with a child, a spouse, someone within your family, whatever the case might be.
This can also cause some conflict in relationships because we're constantly like, we've got to be speaking our ideas, and then they don't know which way we're going. They don't know what direction. Like we're here, and then we're over here, and then we're here, and then we're here. But when we finally make that decision, we can't be moved. Like we're done and we're solid as like concrete. What also, as an entrepreneur, I've experienced, and this is kind of the downside, is because we like to share, we like to brainstorm, we like to play off ideas, and it can be your ideas can then be very quickly implemented into somebody else's business. So I'm never about, there's never enough. There's always enough clients out there. But at the same time, if you have somebody that works faster and has more knowledge, say around technology or resources of whatever kind that you don't have access to, then all of a sudden you may see them doing exactly what you said you were going to do. So I have had to learn to keep it zipped a little bit, to keep my playing cards close, to breast my cards, as I would say, because that is a downside of us oversharing.
Yes, yes, 100%. But you know what? Congratulations to you for being aware of that because so many people go through life in general with this unawareness. So it's good that you're aware of it and you can start to protect yourself, right? Because that's ultimately what this is about, is protecting yourself, protecting your ideas. And yeah, I mean, good for you for recognizing that and taking the proper steps moving forward. So the manifesting generator is also, like I like to say, they're like the distracted energizer bunnies. So they can go, 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 go. And they're a little bit impatient. They like to maybe skip a few steps in between. They want to go from A to Z without going through the rest of the alphabet first. And that in itself can sometimes lead to anger and frustration. These guys, like, I know I remember when I first learned about my human design, I found out I was a projector and I was like, cannot tell a lie. I was a little disheartened. I wanted to be a manager. So that brings us to the projectors now. And the projectors are approximately 20% of the world's population. So we're a little bit more rare. We are the natural guides, the teachers, the people who bring people together to share our wisdom with and to share our acquired knowledge with. So I know that this says specifically that we have an undefined sacral, but we do not have a motor source at all. We do not generate our own energy. Now, this isn't to say that we lays on the couch all day, because clearly, um, but what it is like one of the best analogies I've ever heard from one of my like human design mentors is that we are like the light bulbs of the world. So we have no energy ourselves, but we can share light and we can share energy as long as we're plugged in to someone else's energy. So my husband is a generator. And let me tell you, I had to really be careful about how much time I was working after he came home. So after he came home from work and walked in the door, I would feel like I'm going to go do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this because I had his generator energy to feed off of. And so, again, being an entrepreneur who works from home, what I had to do was take a step back and go, okay, now wait a minute. My husband's home, I actually do want to spend some time with my husband and not working more. So I needed to ensure that I was being a little bit more selective about what I was scheduling and what I was doing after he came home from work. So our strategy is to wait for the invitation. So what that means is because of our wisdom, because of our experience, we want to sometimes share unsolicited advice. And I am guilty of that in the past, for sure, hands down, no questions. I have since become a lot more aware of that. And as I've embodied my projectorness and really discovered waiting for the invitation is like, this is where the flow and effortless ease of life comes in for a projector.
We've been in each other's circle for over a year now, and I've been watching you, and then you actually found me at the National Women's Show, and like I never look at names on Facebook, so like you could be Joe Schmo, and like I wouldn't know because I just like respond to comments. I don't look at names. Manifestor generator, don't care. Like it's just,
Right.
got all the things. So I'm super happy that you came and found me and like centered me as the projector that you are. And then we were able to collaborate.
Yes, I love it so much. See, it's all about living in alignment. Opportunities just come left, right, and center. It's so amazing. So we wait for the invitation and then we follow our intuition wherever that authority comes from. And when we are living in alignment as projectors, we are focused and absorbing. We have an incredibly magnetic nature as well. But when we are not in alignment, coming from the person who was in vet med for 22 years and experienced burnout 3 times, the thing that was eating at me the most was bitterness. Boy, was I pissed off. Like seriously, just so upset and bitter all the time. And then I brought it home to my family and it was a good thing that I retired. Manifestors. So they are the second least common in all of the world. They comprise 9%, approximately 9% of the world's population. And these are the pure initiators. These are our inventive minds, our creative minds, the people who can just come up with an idea like just out of nowhere. So they also, like the manifesting generators, they also have a direct connection from one of the motors, one of these 4 motors here, directly to the throat. So you can see a good example of this one here. It's from the solar plexus directly to the throat. There's a fully colored line all the way through. Their strategy, again, is to inform, as we were talking about the manifesting generators, which is basically just a combination of the generator and the manifester. So the manifester strategy is to inform, same kind of thing. They like to share their ideas verbally, talk about the action steps that they want to take to achieve. And sometimes they are so filled with ideas, and Joe, you probably experienced this as well, but sometimes those ideas are not meant to be acted upon by the individual who has come up with them. Sometimes it's like, I'm just going to sell the patent on that because that's not something that I'm feeling passionate about putting my energy into, but I do understand that it's a valuable idea and it's something that the world needs, but I'm going to pass it on to somebody else who could like bring it to fruition and bring it to reality.
100%. I have a lot of those, and I've learned very quickly now, yeah, I'll take this, I'll run with it. No, that's not mine. Don't even want it. Right. Right. So working in alignment of like what actually gives you like drive and energy is super crucial when we're talking about burnout and overwhelm and knowing your human design, because when you can start understanding it, and I don't know all of it. Trust me, I don't know all of it. It's made it so easy, especially in the workforce, because
Mm.
I can just let things go. And I think that's why I love what you teach so much, because if we had more of this in the work field and more awareness, well, we could delegate those tasks like the projector. You don't want all the tasks. Like give those to the manifesting generator and the generator, right? Like, but the ideas, right? Like the generator needs the ideas. The projector needs to be able to spread it and communicate it. The manifester, like we need that. So I think if we had this more in the workforce, we'd be more balanced, especially in the corporate world.
Oh, I love so much that you brought that up. It's exactly for that reason that I'm so passionate about bringing it into veterinary medicine. Yeah, for all the exact same reasons. And those are the same reasons that it's becoming more and more popular in the corporate world, is because there's just so much value to be taken from it. And I think too, as far as bringing it into veterinary medicine specifically, we can have individuals doing the tasks that they enjoy doing, and maybe just a fraction of their day is spent on the kind of tasks that are a little bit more mundane, that aren't super exciting, that don't light them up. But if we can just recognize the value and the talents that each individual brings, then we can have each facet of the team be met by those individuals that are good at it and enjoy it, right?
Well, and I think it would also help with the hiring process, because we can't
Yes.
just have manifestors. We can't just
Correct.
have generators. We can't just have projectors, right? And I know there's another one that's coming, right? I'm counting,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if you're manifestor heavy, who does the work? Right?
Yeah, who does the
And
work, or who comes in like a projector? As
yeah,
projectors, we have like this bird's eye view. Like if you're here right now and you've not gotten your human design reading done, but you can walk into a room and you just instantly go, "Whoa, there is a way more efficient and effective way to do this. Like I could do everything y'all are doing in 4 hours, but you guys are probably going to take about 8 because this is just not working." Like, so if you ever walk into a situation and you experience that, you could be projector. So
yeah, I agree.
sorry,
No, no, I
the
agree. I
strategy
agree.
of the manifester is to inform. They can be very closed and seem somewhat off-putting, or like they're repellent of other people, but that's basically just their way of protecting themselves. That's the way of protecting themselves. And on the opposite side of that, they can experience anger. So it's important for them to be able to stay kind of inside their head, inside their thoughts and their feelings, in order to be able to bring their creativity to life. And so experiencing anger when they're out of alignment is something that you will notice. And Jody, what did you want to say? I cut you off again.
No, you didn't cut me off. I was just agreeing with everything you said. I just said I agree. So we're good.
Okay, fantastic. So then we have the reflectors, and the reflectors are the most rare of all of the energy types in the human design system. A reflector hasn't got a single center that's defined. So all of their centers are wide open. So their strategy and authority basically is to wait an entire lunar cycle. And the reason for that is because, from an authority standpoint, they actually draw on the energy from the lunar cycle in order to be able to make their decisions moving forward. So that's not to say that they wait 28 days to decide between pasta or pizza. Okay. These are the big life choices. Moving to a different location, making big purchases, deciding to have a family, like whatever the case might be. But the larger life kind of changing decisions do require a full 28-day cycle. So if you know any reflectors, I personally only know two. These are incredibly sensitive people as well. They're very sensitive in their environment, which projectors are too, because we have a lot of open centers, but the reflector especially, if the reflector is in an environment that is unhealthy, say there's as children, say there's physical, mental, emotional, verbal abuse happening around them, they will physically become ill. So they're incredibly sensitive, they're incredibly intuitive. They become very, as long as they're living in alignment, they can really learn to kind of protect their energy and clear their energy at the end of a day if they've had a lot of exposure to other people, other emotions, other feelings, and other energies. But the reflector is incredibly unique and has such unique and wonderful gifts to offer the world. When they are not living in alignment, like I mentioned, they could be experiencing physical illness and disappointment.
I agree.
So
Before you go on, sorry. I really need to get better at raising my hand and doing all the things. I know a reflector, and they can also be like for other people frustrating because they are slower to make a decision. So when you're a
yes.
generator or you're a manifestor generator, you're like, go, 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 let's make a decision, let's like all that. And they are thinking on it. And I always compare it to like the tortoise and the hare, right? Where it's like slow and steady will win the race. And the hare is just like, come on, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yes.
Right? But this is why it's so important to know who you are and who you're working with, so that you can meet each other where you're at and take advantage of the strengths and then maybe sometimes push each other, right? So that like things can be challenged, things can go a little bit faster or a little bit slower, right? So that the decisions that need to be made and the tasks that need to be done are done correctly and efficiently and complete.
Yes. Yes. I love that so much. I love it so much. Work together. Absolutely. So they require the full 28-day lunar cycle for big decisions. They do like to also discuss things with others so that they can hear their own voice and have that reflected kind of back to them. And the importance of their environment, of course, while they're making decisions is huge as well. The pillars of alignment for a reflector are also very unique because of the fact that they don't have any defined centers, so they don't have an authority at all. So they do have to tap into their body's sensations throughout the entire 28 days. They may feel one way one day and different another day. So they have to kind of take all of the information that comes at them over that 28-day period and sit down at the end of that 28 days and come to a final conclusion. The profile, we're not really going to get into it all tonight, but our profile is another way of kind of determining what our purpose in life really is. So the first number in our profile, so I, as an example, I'm a 3-5 projector. So the first number is the way we see ourselves. The first number is kind of the person that we are on the inside, the one that we are personally very conscious and aware of, the the strengths that we might recognize within ourselves. And the second number within our profile is what other people see inherently within us, but we often are unaware of it so it's kind of on a subconscious level. And now we can have some time for questions or conversation.
Thank you so much, Joelle. I appreciate everything that you said. One question that has come up is how do we find out more? Like, what is there an app? Is there you? Is there like what would you recommend?
I can certainly, I had every intention of offering everyone in your community, Jody, an opportunity to take advantage of a free human design reading. What I offer is a basic reading. It's going to give you your profile that we just talked about. It will give you your strategy and your authority as well as your energy type and give you some more in-depth information from what I've shared with you tonight. In order to truly align with who we are at our authentic core, we also have to have that component of central nervous system regulation. And that is one of the pillars in my coaching. We have human design as a tool to reunite with our authentic self. And then we have central nervous system regulation in order to feel safe.
Awesome. Thank you. And with that, because we are so over time, I'm going to stop the live. Ladies, gentlemen, if you're watching, please message Joelle. Take advantage of this amazing, kind, generous offer. I promise you will feel seen and targeted, but you will definitely come out better for it.